Hi guys, I am excited to paint another relaxing paint with you. I base coated the clay pot a little bit here, and it's with multi-surface paint, and I do need to go over a little bit of this trim on the top, but I thought what I would do is go ahead and paint and pick a color that I like on the top. And so this is light, let me show you what color I'm using. It's multi-surface light lavender. Okay, so I thought that'd be pretty with some of these colors, and doing pansies is a fun thing. But what I will do a little bit later is I will do a slip slap design on there, but sometimes I can do fun little stripes and all, but I'll kind of show you that. Clay pots are how I did a lot of craft fairs, and there was a wholesale clay pot company by me, and I did so many clay pots you wouldn't believe it. And so I would take 100 clay pots to every craft fair, and some of them were those little 3-inch ones. But anyway, what happens if you're going to plant a plant in this? You need to put a sealer on the inside, like an outdoor varnish, and really put a really good coat in it. Sometimes on the smaller pots, I would dip them in a sealer. Like I put a big plastic tub and I would dip it in and out because the clay is going to suck it up. And so you can get a water-based big gallon can of sealer, or you could use our Ultra Mod Podge for outdoors and put that on the inside. And if not, this, and you put a plant in here, unless you put a plastic pot, a plant inside, it will absorb through the clay and pop the paint off, even though this has a sealer in it. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing I want to show you is I'm going to use a 3/4 inch flat brush, and I'm going to show you how to make one pansy so you can see all the others I'm going to make. All right, with the different colors and how you build it. And there's 7 strokes, okay? Or it depends on how I do the bottom. I'm probably going to do 6 strokes. So look, I'm going to pick up paint. I'm going to work back and forth. All right. And I'm going to have, let me get another plate because I got too many colors on here. These are 2 colors that you need, 2 things that you need all the time. If you get an 8, and we have it as a bundle on my onestroke.com, an 8-ounce floating medium because we use that instead of water, and then the large titanium white or a white, and it's an 8-ounce bottle. So those are 2 paints that you're going to use over and over, just sharing with you, okay? All right, so now I'm going to come on here and work this in. So I'm going to work it, work it, work it. All right, so let's pick up paint again. And using your double loader really helps you, especially if you want to get better at double loading. But I'm going to use a foam plate right now because beginners might not have that. So I'm going to show you that I'm going to come from here to here. Okay, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. I'm going to scrub and come around to there. All right. Well, I've got this color on here. I could do another one right here. That's the top flower petal. All right. And then I want to come over here and make a bud. Now, a bud's going to go up and down like that. All right. So that's a little close, but it will probably be okay. And then right down here, and each time you pick up a color, you're going to add to your bud. All right. So I'm just going to put 2 there because I'm going to switch colors. All right. Now, the next thing I like to do is I like to pick up more paint and go just like that back and forth. And if you have enough paint, you don't need floating medium. All right. Now, you're going to do from here to here the same shell. That's like one of the seashells from the rose. All right. So I'm going to come right here and do the whole shell over there. Same shell, but on this side. Okay, I'm going to come right here on this side and do a complete shell there. Okay, so I lost my white here. So we're going to come right back here because it's wet on wet. And that's kind of tricky with most techniques and most kinds of paint, but with this paint, it works perfect. All right, so I'm gonna come over here on this one, and I'm gonna pick up the daffodil yellow. Okay, pick up some daffodil yellow. You gotta have plenty of paint on there because you're doing wet on wet. Now, I'm gonna come here and put some yellow. Whatever color I'm going to put in here, I'm going to come here and do on my bud. Okay, you see that? Okay, so now what's going to happen? I'm going to have this yellow on this one, some white and some yellow. Let's get Juneberry in there. Okay, so what's going to happen right here is halfway, right there, halfway, you're going to put the next petal. All right, and then I'm going to flip it over here. All right, so we have 5 strokes right now, 5 petals. Now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to grab some dioxazine purple. See this? I've got bright yellow, white, and dioxazine purple. Oh, let's get some violet pansy. That might be better. It's not so bright. Okay. Okay, so now look at this. I'm going to come right here. Let's get some purple. There we go. Look how bright that is. All right. And I can come right here. Let's see. I like to show you that we can take and put one here. Oops. All right, and then one here, halfway between there. Now, there's a couple different ways you can do that big, large one petal deal there. Look at this. I'm gonna come right here, and that's the bud. And we're gonna come right here with a little bit of white in there. And there's the other bud. Okay. Now we're not through with that yet, but I want to show you what I can do here. I can take a 16, and you always want yellow. So let's do some yellow and white. But you could do yellow and purple. I put a lot of purples here at the bottom, but all right. So we're going to come here and do like a 5 petal flower stroke right there. Okay. So that's 7 strokes. That's 5, that's 7. All right, so before we start finishing it, I'm going to wash this brush. I'm going to touch this white up here, and you'll see how I do that a little bit later. So isn't this fun? All right, so I'm going to pick up the purple and white, violet pansy and white. Okay, violet pansy and white. If you have your double loader, you've got lots of space to load that double loader. So go look at practice strokes, and you'll see how I tell you to do that. All right, so purple's really nice because we're on lavender background. So let's do a purple there and a purple here. All right. Then let's grab some blue, white and ink spot. Okay. All right. Oops, I forgot I need a little bud. So let's put the blue over here. All right. Now what we're going to do is come right here and do one going straight across from here. Okay, right straight across from each other. So when you do that, one straight up, one across each side, and then I'm going to dip in. Let's get a little bit of yellow. Okay, so now look what happens here. A little bit of yellow. All right, yellow and blue turns green, so you got to be careful about that. All right, we got blue and yellow. Okay, now I'm going to come right in here. Okay, so I'm gonna come way over here. Let's wipe this off and let's get blue and white. Okay, so now look how pretty this one turns out with the white here and the blue in the middle. Now this is a 5 petal. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm gonna flip it around. Let's use purple again. I'm gonna put purple and white. And I'm gonna come back here and work it in with white. Okay. So look, I'm gonna come right here and just do a few strokes there. That almost looks like a complete flower that way, but look, let's go here and come up and go here and slide up. And a jumping Johnny, I've never seen those in real life, but I saw pictures where they're kind of like this, multiple petals. Okay, so look at this. I'm going to come right here and that right there. See that? Okay, so I think I can lay this down and not touch anything else. Now let's take our 12. That's a 16. Let's see. Here's a 12. Let's take our 12 and a couple of things. We're going to take a script liner. Now, this, I love doing pansies. I've done so many pansies, and they go in antique shops and paintings. They go in vintage. Um, there's all kinds of traditional and pretty looks with pansies. All right, so one of the things I like to do is I like to come in here and pick up the white there. All right, just a little bit of white is going to make a big difference. Now look, I can also come here, wipe it off because it's fresh paint, come here and wipe it off. So I can go around to all of these areas like this. So what do you think? A little bit here. And we're going to come right along here. You can do a little bit here. Like this one, you would do the comma from here, right there, and bring it up. Right here, and bring it up. Okay. And that just adds a little bit to your painting. So right here. And a little bit here. So let's come right here. Okay. Now I do need to put a little bit of licorice. And then we're going to do some green. So how fun is this? What do you think? Bright colors on the lavender. We're going to take some licorice. I do use water only with the liner. I usually don't use it with many other brushes, okay? Other than that, we use floaty medium. Okay, so let me show you what's going to happen. We're going to come right here. Oops. Might be better to let it dry some, but we're going to put licorice there. We can also put some licorice here on the buds. So I can come right down here. All right. Now all I'm going to do is dip the handle of the brush and put the little dots right there and some little bit of white in it. And there's your center, okay? So let's come right here and we can just do the little bit of licorice up. Can you see this? Little bit up. You can do plastic pots with this paint. and it'll stay on. You can do the same thing on vases, on glass vases. There's so many things you can paint on, guys. So see how this is the bud, and we're putting a little bit of licorice, a little bit of accent there, a little bit of accent on this one, and here. Okay, see how it just really sets it? Now we're right in here. Okay, and then we'll come down here, right down here. Okay, so we're gonna put yellow right here. And you could be citrus green or yellow. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to take the greens. This is sap and citrus. And I can even grab some yellow. All right. So we're going to take and push and pull. Now you can do bright, pretty blues. There's all kinds of colors you can do instead of lavender. But I thought this lavender turned out really pretty. Okay. So now look what happens here. We're going to do one. Let's pick up some really good colors here. Two, three. All right. So let's come over here and I'm going to do some citrus with some thicket. All right. All right. Now let me show you how fun this is. We're going to take some yellow and white with the citrus. All right. So I'm going to come right here. You see that? And I pull the stem in there. This is all with the 12. We're going to come right there and pull the stem in. Let's come right here again. So watch what happens here. We are going to come right down here and make an arrow. All right, so I'm going to come right in here with the dark green. And on the outside, I'm doing the light. And I'm wiggling, wiggling down that line to a point. And we're going to come right here, have the dark in the middle. And then we just pull a stem in the middle of all that. All right. Okay, so I can come back over here and let's do another one. Look, loop, 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 loop. See? And then you pull a stem right in the middle. All right. There we go. So see how bright and vivid that is all the way around? Right? Oh, over here we need some more, right? So we're going to come here and here. Okay, now what we want to do is do a couple of little flowers. I'm going to lay this right here so I'm not covering anything. And I'm going to pick up another little flower, but you know what looks good in here too? I'm going to let this dry a minute as we're doing the top. And some little baby white daisies would look pretty there too. All right. So look what happens at the top. At the top, if I take my large brush, all right, and we can decide what colors we want. But let's use violet pansy because that's going to look good with everything. So see, you're going to go right to that edge and we're going to come around and I'm going to go like I'm slip slapping, but I am just going to go one way because what it'll do is it'll give you nice, clean strokes and it'll stop right at that border. See right there? See how nice that's looking? So this is what I do is I do at least 3 pots at the same time. Because while I've got those, you saw me take the bud and move the color up. Well, you're going to do all of the Juneberry and white petals on 3 pots. Any size, glassware. Like what I'm doing, if I'm doing glasses, greeting cards, and pots, when I pick up one color, I go to all the different things I'm going to have at my show and have coordination because what people will do is if they like this pot, they would buy a couple more pieces for their kitchen or for their bathroom to put a little pot of flowers there and their kitchen window on their patio. And just think about different things that you can do the same design on. But if they like it a lot, and a lot of people like pansies, if they like it a lot, then they will buy multiple pansy items that match it. So think about that when you're painting. You'll paint quicker and make more product in the same amount of time if you're not cleaning your brush out constantly. Use all your leftover paints for greeting cards and they can all coordinate. All right. So now we've done that, but now I got to go all the way around here. Now, sometimes to make it look more finished, I do this inside ridge to that line right there, okay? We also have the fragment effects, and they're like cut crystals. They're tumbled though, and you could have this whole edge and you have the binder and sealer, and it will go indoors and outdoors, and it will hold that beautiful fragment effects on this top edge too. Okay, so there we go. Now, one little thing to pull all that in together. Sorry. I like to come in. I got this paint all over me and I don't want to touch inside. So let me go like this. All right. And I'm just going to do one little spot so y'all can see. Now, this is the color we're coordinating with. So I can take an 8 flat and I can do little teeny purple leaves in between and just change and make a real, let me get it right here. So you're just going to push and lift little clusters of leaves. You're going to pull the stem and look how that just adds to it. But I want to show you what happens if I use neon. All right. Here's neon purple. All right. So we're going to take this neon purple And I'm going to go right out here, and this will just come alive. I can go back over these because I like the neon better, I decided. All right. All right, so we can put some little purple in here. It's called neon purple, and it can go on top of so many pretty projects, and it makes the purples and all just pop. Y'all see that? I can't wait to see what kind of clay pots y'all come up with for this season. I could do ghosts, I can do pumpkins, I can do all kinds of fun fall pots. And then, you know what we do? We put a cloth napkin inside of it and heat it up in the oven, and then put your rolls in it in that cloth napkin. And a home ec teacher told me that as she ordered a bunch of them for me for gifts. And that's how I sold them. They're great gifts because you can fill them with all kinds of breadsticks and oils, and give them a little hint about heating the pot in the oven on 300. Okay, so you like it? There you go. One last thing you might want to do is take some neon and just hit a miss around here, and it just pops. Like people say, what is that color? All right, so see how the neon, when it dries, it really electrifies the whole look of this. I've got neon pink I use a lot. If you have pink pansies or flowers or roses, okay, use up all that paint. There you go. Okay, I'm messy, but you could wear gloves if you want to. I usually don't do all my rims and everything right now. I do all my hand painting and then I come back later and do my rims, okay? So there you go. Sign it and sell it or share it. Okay, so there we are. Blues, purples, yellows, and more. Oops, I messed that up. But anyway, I will see you next time. Please let me know what you think about getting ready for art shows and me sharing more pieces with you because it's gift giving time. All right. Love you guys. Bye bye.